Hi lovely people, welcome to another session of Breath of Life. My name is Beatrice. This is where we mentor, inspire through the word of God and the wisdom and knowledge that God has imparted on the life of people.
So we are privileged today to have a senior pastor, a father to two lovely kids, a husband to one amazing woman of God I know, and a mentor to many, Reverend Geofrey Ong'ondo. Karibu sana mchungaji.
Welcome, Nicholas.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Rev, we've been talking about building healthy relationships in families, how kids and their parents can relate well. But we also saw that kids would love to be brought up and helped to transition into adulthood by their own parents. But unexpected sometimes happens, and kids find themselves either without both parents or with single parents. How does that affect the course and the quality of these young people?
Well, indeed, as you say, a holistic family, of course, as ordained by God and in the Bible,
Yes.
is a family where you have both parents, and they both play a key role in raising holistic children, therefore growing into being holistic adults. And so, practically, the absence of either of the parents or both parents affects in many ways. The parent is the primary mentor of the children. A parent is the primary mentor of the children. Many times I've heard people say that before a child knows God, he knows the Father. And when he wants to relate to God as a father, then he first of all gets to know how father from the practical father.
Yeah.
So when that father is not there, or when that father is a wrong father or a bad father, then normally it makes it very difficult for that kind of child even to love God and know who God is as a lovely father. And so in terms of practical lessons of life, automatically there are many things that happen. But of course then it affects the children psychologically, emotionally, and in many other ways. But of course God is our Father.
Thank you, sir. You've talked of holistic growth or development or holistic family setup. For this young man being brought up by a single mother, he needs a male voice in his life. And for this young lady being brought up by a single father, she needs a female voice in her life. How do they go about this?
Well, again, it depends on at what point they became a child from a single parent or no parent. As I've indicated, some are orphans when, for example, your parents, unfortunately, both parents can die, maybe in an accident, and you're left as an orphan. It can also happen that your mother never got married, and that happens in life. So if your mother never got married, that means from the day you were born, your mother raises you as a single parent, and but of course the father must be somewhere in the world. And so for me, that question therefore does not start with the child. That question or a solution to that state should begin with the parent. It begins with the parent in the sense that, well, parent or guardian, let me say that. So it begins with the parent or guardian in the sense that a parent who recognizes, a single parent who recognizes that they want to raise up a holistic child should from the very beginning think of how would this child be raised holistically. If the child is an orphan, then automatically they don't have another parent, and that would mean that the people who become the guardians then are the ones who should begin the work of full parenting. And we see that, for example, in the Bible, there's a very good example that I always love quoting in the Bible. The Bible, in the book of Esther, but the Bible tells us a very interesting story that both her father and mother died. And she was raised by a cousin called Mordecai. But if you look at Esther's upbringing, you would not think she lost a parent because of the nature of the way Mordecai brought up Esther. So in other words, I'm saying that it behooves the guardian, the people around that child or that child, to provide what is necessary. The Bible shows that Mordecai raised that child in such a way that she was his own child. And guided, instructed. So the Bible even says that she never went away from the teachings of the uncle, to the point where she becomes a queen in that new land. And even becoming a queen was under the instructions and the pupillage, the training of an uncle, a cousin, who then came as a parent. So what I'm saying then, that it first starts with the guardian or the parent. If I am a single father and the mother of my child either died or we separated, it is me to ensure that this child, the female part of the parenting is filled. And how would you do that? I would make sure that either there is a close auntie or a close somebody close to our family that would be present in her life. So it does not start with the child. It's very difficult when it starts from a child. But if it happens at some later stage in life, then already that child already has values which are already formed. So they may, yes, require an uncle or so to come in their life, and so that they can take the initiative. But it starts with the single father or single mother or the uncle or the auntie, the guardian that is close by, to provide that which is missing. Yes.
But what if you get to a stage where that never happened, or the guardian never took that initiative to maybe help in that area, and you're a grown up, you're growing up, and you need such voices in your life?
You know, that's also very relative. Number one, the fact that child reaches a point where he or she realizes she needs another voice, then already they're grown.
Yeah,
they're already grown. And when you're already grown, yes, it then takes a deliberate one. It takes knowledge. It means that person already has grown a little bit and seen that there's some things else he needs. And when he has realized that he needs that extra voice, or he has grown in a church, and in the church, the leadership of the church also sees this child needs somebody else to help. So the child may approach a pastor or the church leadership and say, this is what's going on in their life, maybe with the mother or the father, and then he is advised. Most of the times, a church leadership, either the pastors or some of the leaders in the church, normally automatically come in very naturally. They come in naturally to be a support system. But as I'm saying, again, going back to where I should have started, this also just is something that happens now because we are in Africa, and the African system was a little different. Initially, you would still grow, children would grow in a family, and everybody else would play part in the upbringing. So when a father dies, in a good family setup, the uncles would come in automatically, and they would offer the support, and therefore they would be there. So I'm saying, as much as the child would still find and desire to make a step, yes, the step would be necessary, and they would come therefore, but it is not very easy for them to start looking for an uncle or an auntie somewhere. It's normally, for me, it should start from the other side. But where they find themselves, they don't have, that means it's a grown-up person who says, now, I need a voice, then they would start with a closer person, an uncle, an auntie, or I'm saying a social setup like church, and other close family setups. Yes. And they just mentioned to them that I need a father in my life, because in the long run, when the issues come, like issues of marriage, later on, issues of they will need them. So they still go back to them, so they can start earlier. And they start by building a relationship. They may not go there saying, I need you to mentor me, I need you to give me a male voice. No. They just become and say, they just build a relationship. Uncle, how are you doing? Can I come and visit you? And when, as you visit one day, second time, three times, you are building a relationship, and then and if there are good people, they begin talking to your life. So it's not that you are saying, now I want you to be my uncle that is my father that's missing or my mother that's missing. No, it's a natural thing where you go, you visit, because you're intentional, you begin a relationship intentionally. Yes.
Can we outgrow such relationships?
Well, I would say yes and no, but more profoundly, no. No, because you know that you are your father's child even when you are 50 years old. You're still your father's child. You're your mother's child even when you're 50 years old. And they come and see you with your children, but they call you my child. And your children laugh. So because even when you are older, you will still need some guidance, some voice. So it's a progressive thing. Of course, you have to grow some aspects, but not the relationship. You can outgrow some things that now you're no longer dependent. You're no longer dependent on your parents' money. You're no longer dependent on every advice on every step you're making. But some decisions in life you still need to consult or just get their views even as life goes by. So I would say more. It's yes and no. No, in the sense that you will still need them, but yes, because you outgrow some aspects. Not the whole relationship. Yes.
Thank you. For you to identify such a person, there must have been something that attracted you to them. For you to make a step and approach them to be part of your life.
Yes.
And sometimes you wouldn't know people until you're very close to them. Then you get to know some of the things you didn't know when you're far. What happens when you notice some inconsistency in their character?
As I mentioned, this should be a natural progression. So natural progression, I have said, don't go to someone and tell them, can you be my father? It doesn't work like that. But as you come closer, and you relate further, more doors open, more hearts open. It's like a shell that is being removed, one shell, the next one. So and then you become more intimate. Of course, one of the things you realize that nobody is perfect.
Yes.
Nobody is perfect. And because of that, you don't know how to take it off immediately you see something wrong. No. Yeah. But because you realize this is wrong, then you do what? You just make sure you take guard. The trouble comes in when it is going to affect you negatively. Because, for example, there could be manipulation, there could be intimidation, there could be people who want to take advantage of you being close to them. Now, that one you take care of. Build some boundaries. Get some boundaries and make sure you don't go this far. So you may not run away completely, but if you find it's completely not helpful, you can cut relationships. So you can learn from them, and because you identify this is not the right thing I need, that bit of them you put away. But there are things that you might have learned from them that you can still continue learning from and growing in. But if you find it's completely not unhelpful, you get out slowly. And as I said, don't go asking them to be your father, because now they can't stop being your father when now you realize they're wrong things. Yes.
So which term can we use in that case? Can we call them a mentor? Can we call them?
Yes, mentor. Mentor works in very well. But for me, I would just talk about a working relationship.
Okay.
So that if you make it too official, it can crash and break you. But when you make it a natural relationship, then it is easier to get out slowly. You can stop making. You can reduce the calls. You can reduce the visits. You can reduce that. All right, so that it becomes a natural thing where you don't hurt each other. This is not like a marriage where you have to begin by dating and then you propose. You propose and then they say yes. No, that, and then of course go into a wedding ceremony. You take your vows. That's a different relationship. This one is just like your father became your father, and you can't stop them from being your father, even when they are drunkards and they're doing bad things. You see that? So it should be a natural working, slowly built and grown. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Long time ago, we read that.
Thank you for choosing to be part of this family. We urge you to Like, share, subscribe so that you can be able to reach many people. God bless you and welcome to the Ball Session.